100,000 people. Now, I have not hit the glorious 6 figures yet, but according to my stats, I will in the next 24 hours. This is going up tomorrow, so on Friday for you. It's Thursday right now. I really hope that I am awake to see it roll over, because normally I get most of my subscribers overnight, because America's such a huge part of my subscriber base, and that's when I get a lot overnight. I wake up, and so I really hope that I am awake to see it hit. But today, so if I might have when this video has gone up, there will be a video to, but I thought this would be a really good video where I look back on my journey on YouTube, and actually physically I've got all my videos up, oldest to newest, and see like where I was personally, professionally, mentally, at different stages in YouTube, because YouTube was never meant to be a full-time thing for me. As most people, they just start it as a hobby, and I never knew where it would end up. So I thought we'd take certain points of my journey over the past like 4 years or something. It's coming up to 4 years now on YouTube, which is actually really ironic. I'll be hitting 100k around the 4-year mark. And yeah, let's just jump into it and see where I was at different times in my life. Alright, so it's not going to be a reaction video. I already did one of those for my 3-year anniversary, and I'll link it up for you if you want to see that. This was my first ever video. At this point, I was in my final year at university studying psychology. Now, I started this YouTube channel because I'd already been traveling solo in Europe twice. I went on 2 trips, one with a friend and then one on my own, reverse. One on my own first, then I went with a friend second time. And I just got obsessed. I caught the travel bug, and I just wanted to sit down and talk to people, whoever they may be, and just kind of, I was like, I have advice, I've learned things already, and I want to share that with you. And that was literally the only reason I did it. At this point, this alley, let's move over for past alley. At this point, I was ready to go all the way into getting my PhD, into getting a doctorate in clinical psychology, or doing a master's first. I wasn't too sure at this point, but I knew I really wanted to further my education and become a clinical psychologist. At this point, however, I did look into studying abroad, everywhere from the Netherlands to Australia. I looked into, so young back then. Oh, the boobsy. Yeah, I had no intention. I didn't even know what YouTube was about back then. I was just doing this to kind of like just get my tips out there and see if anyone listened. Oh my god, my travel bucket list 2013. So this must have been the point that I decided to go to Australia. This was on the 10th of July. I am back home in Birmingham because I studied in Wales, so I'd gone back home. 2013 is when I left to go traveling in August, so this is the month before I went to Australia. So just coming up to this point, I had decided to make a radical decision and just get my degree, graduate, and then go to Australia on a working holiday visa for a year. Again, I've got videos on where I talk a lot about my decision of why I chose travel over a career and things like that. I really need to make a video on how I turned travel into a career. That'll be a really good part too. I'll link that video up for you, where I talk a bit more about my decision in going to Australia. But that's not what this video is about. It's my YouTube journey. At this point, I graduated, got my degree, and was heading out to Australia. Now, I just wanted to go to Australia, and I started vlogging a little bit. I did a piece in Melbourne, I did a bit of a vlog in Sydney, the Blue Mountains, Australia Zoo. I even did interviews with people at my hostel. How good I was. I mean, I don't do that now, what's wrong with me? I think I tried to get a video up like once a week, but things got really hectic, or I was in the outback and I didn't have internet that would upload really. So through Australia, I was just going around, not really taking the whole vlogging thing seriously. I didn't really know what I was doing at all. I look back and kind of wish sometimes that I'd have vlogged more, because I had some incredible adventures. Now, that's why my book is just about Australia, because a lot happened in Australia and none of you know any of the stories, and Australia changed me. And that sounds really cliche, but it changed me. You see, I was in Australia for almost 2 years, and we have a handful of videos from Australia. So coming up towards the end of my time in Australia, at about the 20-month mark, I went home to visit family and friends for 3 weeks, and this is why I talk about in my book, why I went full-time with vlogging. So I'm not going to spoil that too much, because that is a huge part of my book. This point that everything crumbled and everything changed for me, I knew that I had the opportunity to try and make YouTube work. I had a realization that other people were blogging and making money and traveling the world, and people were becoming vloggers, like loads more vloggers were popping up at this point. And I was like, why can't I do that? I think at this point I was making around £50 a month on YouTube, because I was just doing it as a hobby. My videos weren't getting a lot of views, but I didn't mind. I was just having a lot of fun. So I just looked at it and I was like, how am I meant to take it to the next step? How do I transition from having this as a hobby to actually doing this full time? And again, the part of my book I'm not going to reveal here. Something pushed me so hard, and I was like, this is my opportunity. I got to New Zealand, and instead of getting a part-time job, I decided to throw myself in full-time into YouTube. When I got to New Zealand, straight away I got contacted by a company called italki. Now, if you've been around for a while, you might remember them. They were a regular sponsor of my channel, a great company, 100% still would recommend them. And they offered to sponsor me for a few months. That moment, it gave me a great opportunity. A great company that offered a great service was offering me money and an opportunity that I could take this full time. And it was fantastic. It gave me the means, and it all just kind of came together at that point. I wanted it so hard, and then they dropped me an email, and I'm like, this could work. I can make this work. And I don't know how many hours I put into researching absolutely everything I could imagine researching and learning and producing different types of videos. And this was the point where, if I look back at the girl who put up her first video, was ready to do her PhD, never thought that vlogging or blogging could be this full-time thing that I could do with my life. New Zealand is where it all turned around, and I decided to do it. Also, my first kind of thought, because we were in Auckland for so long, because Scott got a full-time job there, and I was working on this, it made me think about, alright, so when there's downtimes, when I'm not moving so much, because after this, a lot of travel happened, as you know. After New Zealand, we got opportunities to go to so many more places. It made me learn, how does a travel blogger or vlogger produce content when they're not moving all the time? And that's something really important. And my informational videos is what I always go to, because I love producing them and you all seem to love them, so it's a win-win. But I had to learn that. When we were about to leave New Zealand, we had 2 months left, and we did a road trip through both of the islands, and at that point I started daily vlogging, and I started really getting into it. At this point, financially, I was becoming way more stable, and things were turning around, things were working. And up until the point where I got to the Philippines, I still didn't know how long it would last, and I still don't. Such baby steps, and when I got to the Philippines, my channel got a massive surge of new people coming to it, and I was like, wow, oh my god, this is incredible. And that was when I kind of realized, like, right, what I'm doing now, and I just really tried to analyze what I was doing and keep at it. Chiang Mai is where I started doing a lot of daily vlogs mixed in with some new stuff, like some beauty product testing, some taste tests, things like that. I really started to mix up what I was doing on my channel, and what I realized was vlogs are pointless if there's no story and meaning and message behind them. They're absolutely pointless in doing, and I was enjoying doing them, but when I look back on them, I was like, was there any point in putting up that vlog? I don't want to be a daily vlogger. I think they can get extremely repetitive. Not saying that, you know, some daily vloggers are incredible. I just personally, I stopped watching them. I was like, okay, if I've stopped watching them, why have I stopped watching them? And I realized that I wanted to put more time and effort into 3 videos a week then less effort trying to pump out 5 videos a week. You know what I mean? So this was the turning point really in Chiang Mai that I was like, only vlog if there is something to vlog. Do not vlog for the sake of vlogging. That's why I'll never be claimed to be a daily vlogger, because I'm not. But Chiang Mai was great because I really threw myself wholeheartedly into just expanding where I already was. So I got to the point where I could financially support myself up when we left New Zealand. But then it was, where do I go now? Where do I take this channel? Where do I take this business further? When I got super serious about moving forward with a business mindset and making this a thing that will last decades, further than YouTube, further than anything like that, how can, you know, what do I want for my brand? Where do I want this to take me way in the future? So I don't have plans for, I don't have a 10-year plan, but I knew that if I put steps in place, that the 10-year plan would just, it would come. Because I'm putting things in place now to make it possible later. And then over the past 3 or 4 months since we left Chiang Mai, I have really just gone all at it. I have made a lot of mistakes. A lot. I've had the wildest ups and downs. And then recently, in the past month, when, you know, I had that moment in Malaysia when I was like, I realized that I kept doing the same content that I'd been doing, which you all know if you've watched those videos, but I changed, I'd moved on, I developed, and I grew as a person, and my content wasn't growing with me. That was huge for me, and I feel that has, like, I have jumped from 80,000 subscribers up to almost 100,000 at this point. Like that. Literally my channel just boomed in the past month, and it's ever since I rebranded my channel and I started doing content that I really loved. Because I loved the content I was doing before, but there was no variety, there was none of the new me in there. Like the real talks, I love the real talk videos. Sorry, I've got a really dry throat. I absolutely love doing them. I love doing funky little DIY travel hack videos, like really little short ones. I love doing long informational videos, just packed full of tips. And I also like doing vlogs. And right now, on my journey, I'm developing how I want to do vlogs going forward, which is a question I'll put to you now. Daily vlogs can be good if there is a ton going on every single day. Like in the Philippines, when we're island hopping one day, the next day we're scuba diving, you know, and you want to break them up, and they're very interesting vlogs, and I have no problem with doing that. But for example, let me know, I'll either put a poll up, and if I don't, then let me know down below. Would you like, say, we're going down south in a week, for 2 weeks. I'm thinking, do I do daily vlogs? Or do I do like the weekly vlog? I do week in the life of a travel vlogger. But like say, pick an island we're going to, for example, and we're going there for 5 days. How about I film for the 5 days and put it together in like a weekly vlog style travel guide of what we're getting up to, still keeping the down-to-earth, funny, crazy moments, but have it more of a destination vlog / travel guide, and I do 1 video. Let me know your thoughts on that, because I don't mind doing either, and they both have their pros and cons. So I'd like to get your feedback on that. So yeah, let me know how you'd like to view that content, because that would really help me out if you could let me know how you prefer to view travel vlogs and things like that. Looking back on 4 years, I went from a girl who had so much dream and ambition, and that has not changed. It's just the actual dream and ambition has changed, and the direction I want to go has changed. And it's crazy, if I'd have known back then, like what I knew now, I know everyone says that, it's a bit cliche, but it's true. It really is true, and I know this is cheesy as well, but I would not be here if it wasn't for you. If it wasn't for you coming back and watching my videos again and again and getting the love and support that I get from you guys. Thank you. I'm gonna save the thank yous, and I mean, I might just jinx myself here and I may never hit 100k. I could lose 50,000 subscribers overnight. Who knows what happens? I just wanted to like look back on my journey with you and we could go through it from what I wanted then, and it definitely wasn't YouTube, to what I've got now and what I want in the future. Because what is in store for the future, I'm not just talking the next 6 months, the next 10 years. Screw it guys, the next 10 years, what I have in store is incredible. I mean, if I really look at it, when I was in New Zealand building this, it was hard because I felt like, you know, a new little fishy swimming around trying to fight all these big fishies in the ocean and learning how they do it and stuff like that. The stresses I had then are way different from the stresses I have now. And I was actually thinking about doing a real talk on how finding success or something creates more stress than building success, or something like that, if you know what I mean. And if you're an entrepreneur, you'll know what I mean when I say that. Yeah. Maybe I'll do a real talk. If you'd like that, also let me know. Right, this has been a ridiculously long video, so I am gonna go. Looking forward to hitting 100,000 people. If you like this video, then give it a big thumbs up and let me know. I just thought it'd be cool to look back together, do a little reminiscing over the past 4 years, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down below what your journey has been. If you're a YouTuber, if you work online, or just in general. Have you ever had a moment when you look back, or maybe at a picture or something of yourself, and you were like, wow, all the things I wanted at that moment, even if it was like a month ago, are so different from what I want now. And yeah, looking back 10 years, 5 years, and even last month, how different everything was at that moment. And I think it's just fun sometimes to look back and see how you've grown, how you've changed. And my God, like I said, I never knew that it would come to this back 4 years ago when I posted that first ever video. And I'm so grateful it's happened. And I'm gonna, damn it. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm rambling way too much. All right, I'm gonna give you a kiss. I'm gonna kiss you. I'll see you in a couple of days.